Here are the solutions to the determinants worksheet. 1 through 13 was all I wanted you guys to do. I know number 12, yes, you could have definitely used a calculator on that one to get a negative 800. I'm only going to go over a couple of these because they were pretty much the same. So the ones I'm going to go over, definitely take a look at, and then you can still go back and try some others. If you're still not getting them, please let me know. All right, so I want to take a look at 2, 4, and 11. And I just want to point out what I mentioned in the video. If you're asked for 1, 2, and 3, you are asked to evaluate the determinant of each matrix. So before you get started, you first need to write it out, either with the DET, or you could squeeze a DET in front of it, or you would need to show the vertical bars before you started any calculations. It's a mathematical technicality here. So we could do this, then we could show our equal sign. What I don't want to see is the brackets here with the equal sign with nothing else. If you put the equal sign off of this, squeeze in the DET in front. So again, we're going to multiply downward diagonally, where that's going to give us a negative 4, and then we always subtract, and then we're going to multiply upward diagonally, so that's going to give us a negative 1. So be careful with your negatives. So now this becomes a negative 4 plus 1, which is a negative 3. Now for number 4, they already had the vertical bars here, even though the directions still said the same thing. So now we don't have to rewrite it this way. We could just put our equal sign. Again, we're going to multiply downward diagonally. We get a negative 10 minus, and then we multiply upward diagonally, which will give us a 12. And then combining these two, negative 10 minus 12 is a negative 22. All right, for all of the, well, from 9 through 12, this was all the vertical bars. Now for number 8, you'd have to just rewrite it first with the vertical bars around it and then go to your equal sign. All right, so again, the process here is I'm going to circle my first number, and then I cross out the row and the column. Here's the row, here's the column. So I'm going to take that 6 and multiply it by the determinant of 4, negative 2, negative 4, 5. And then it's going to be minus, and I'm going to move those out of the way. Then I would circle the 5, cross out that row and that column, so I have a 5 times what's left over here, determinant of negative 5, negative 2, 1, and 5. Then it's going to be plus, let me move that out of the way. I'm going to circle the negative 3. So plus a negative 3, we could just write in a minus 3. Right now, I'm actually going to keep the plus because I want you to see that it's the positive. The only one in the middle here, the second one, we take the opposite of. So I'm going to put the negative 3 here times the determinant, and we cross out the row and the column of negative 5, 4, 1, negative 4. So now this becomes 6 times. Going downward here, we're going to get a 20. Minus going upward here, we're going to get an 8. Then we're going to have minus 5. Going downward here, we're going to get a negative 25. Going upward here, we're going to get minus a negative 2. Now I can just go ahead and say minus 3. Going downward diagonally here, we're going to get a 20. Minus, and going upward here, we're going to get a 4. Shouldn't have put a bar there. All right, so here we're going to get 6 times 12. Minus 5 times, this becomes negative 25 plus 2, so a negative 23. Then we get a minus 3 times a 16. So 6 times 12 is going to give us 72. This is a negative times a negative, which is a positive. 5 times 23 is 115. Then we're going to get a minus 3 times 16 is 48. Now still try to do these without a calculator. Adding 72 onto 115, the 2 and the 5 will give us a 7. We'll get a 187 minus a 48, and then you can still subtract. Again, even if you need to write it like this, whatever's going to help you, just to try to not rely on a calculator so much, but this is going to give us a 139. And again, just to review this, I know it seems kind of elementary, but it's going to be a big help, especially when I don't let you use calculators. Borrow from the 8, that becomes a 7, and 7 becomes a 17, so this will give us a 9. 7 minus 4 is 3, and then we get that 1 that's there. All right, so like I said, please let me know if you have any questions. You can join the Zoom meeting today later on from 2 to 2:20. That's a separate one than your Zoom meeting for your quiz. So go to your Google Calendar, and under classwork, and you can attach it there. I don't want to confuse you by putting two different Zoom links. So this one for the office hours, for my office hours, you could just join using Google Classroom, the Google Calendar under classwork there. So after I go over the homework problems with the class, they're going to be taking the quiz. Your quiz will have already posted now, and I'll leave directions. You could take your quiz first, then watch this video, or if you're watching this video ahead of time, you could take your quiz. All right, guys, good luck on your quiz. Let me know if you have any questions.